Hello everybody, GoodManSo0 here, bringing you another video, this time episode 2 of the Dark Souls PvP builds. Got you guys another awesome build called the Rooftop Defender. Credits for the build go to Swashy from the Dark Souls Wiki. Thanks Swashy, you rock. Alrighty, and now for the gear. For your right hand, in the first slot, you're going to use the Flamberg or Flamberge if you want to get all Frenchy on it. Maxed out fire or chaos. I'm using chaos for this one just because once you do have 10 humanity, the chaos is more powerful than the fire. Right hand, second slot, lightning, shotel or shotel or whatever, +5. For your left hand, first slot, blood shield, second slot, fully ascended flame. For your head slot, you're using the black sorcery hat, +10. For your chest, armor of thorns, +5. For your gauntlets, silver knight gauntlets, +5. And for your leggings, silver knights, +5. For your rings, you're using the wolf ring and the hornet's ring. You're using the wolf ring so you have enough poise so that if you do get hit, chances are you're not going to get knocked back, and that's really important. Hornet's ring will greatly increase the amount of damage you do with a backstab or a parry, so that's a must-have for this sort of build. For your items, the only thing you're going to need is the poison throwing knives and your red eye orb. Red eye orb so that you can actually invade without needing to use up a bunch of cracked red eye orbs. For your spell slots, you're going to have Great Combustion and Fire Tempest. And he has noted here that Pyromancy is a last resort, so you know, don't invade someone and then boom, use your Pyromancy, because that is kind of cheap at times, I guess, if you want to call it that. Alrighty, and here's the stats for the build. The first thing you're going to need to know is that the starting class is Warrior. From there, you'll build your stats off that. You're going to want to get your Vitality to 31, Attunement to 12, Endurance to 30, Strength to 16, and Dexterity to 14. The other three, Resistance, Intelligence, and Faith, you just leave as they were when you first made your Warrior. You'll also need to be part of the Dark Wraith Covenant. This is so that you can actually use your Red Eye Orb. If you don't yet have a Red Eye Orb, you're going to have to get to Dark Wraith Covenant +1. You can do that by talking to the Covenant leader and offering 10 humanity. And now I'll just share some information with you that the maker of this build also posted with his build. He says this: invade from the bridge near the gap to the merchant so you can spawn next to the archer that stands at the entrance to the Iron Golem Foggate room. The reason for that is because from there you can pretty much see every area in Sen's fortress, and from there they're all easily accessible. So when you invade, you'll notice that you can pretty much see all of the roof of Sen's fortress. This is really good because it makes it really easy to find your opponent. Make sure you pay attention to what monsters are alive and which monsters are dead. This helps you find where your opponent is. For example, when you first invade, and if you notice that this archer right here is dead, most likely he's already inside. If this is the case, you're going to want to hurry up and get inside before he actually enters the boss fight. If he enters the boss fight, you get sent back to your world. Be aware of your surroundings. Try to use the terrain to your advantage, because you are the invader. Right here you'll see that I use this wall to hide myself while he walks in and I just go in for an easy backstab. I've used this method quite a few times and it makes it for an easy kill. Now here's a little fun clip. So I was invading this guy, and on my way to find him, another guy invaded. So yeah, watch out for those pressure pads. Alrighty, now I'll just kind of tell you how to know which weapon to use. If your opponent is two-handing his weapon or not using a shield, use your Flamberg. With the Flamberg, you don't really need to worry about somebody running around you and backstabbing after you swing. That's because the Flamberg has a really wide swing rather than the vertical swing that you would have seen say with the Life Hunt Scythe. Also, if you're planning on doing a backstab or a parry, use the Flamberg. It'll do a lot more critical damage than the shotel would. The shotel, if you click R2, is really effective against people that are just turtling or just continuously holding up their shields, because it'll hit right around that shield. You also have some pyromancy spells. I never really ended up using Great Combustion, but Fire Tempest really came in handy. There were a couple matches where I'd invade, and the host of the world had already summoned 2 people, so it ended up being a 3v1, and I would end up using Fire Tempest to kill off 2 of them, like you'll see here. Sadly, the host got away, challenged the master, or he challenged the boss. So I was able to play this build quite a bit. While playing it, I discovered a lot of things that I really liked, and there were a couple things that I wasn't too fond of, and here they are. One of the pros being that it had less than 50% equipment load, so you're not doing the fat man's role. That's always a plus, because it's really important for PvP. Another thing, and this was really good for me, both weapons had great attack sets, meaning they had a good variety of attacks. Together, they pretty much covered all the attacking, or all the different kinds of attacks that you would need. With this build, you could do high critical attacks, meaning high backstabs, high parries, or high damage backstabs, high damage parries. And really, this build was very adaptable. I mean, there's pretty much an attack or a spell for every situation that you could run into. So really, it just kind of comes down to your skill and how you use the build. Now, the cons for me, there really weren't any. I had no problems with this build at all. The only thing I could really think of was the hat and the shield. The hat and the shield were pretty much for looks. If I was to change it, I would probably go with one of the masks of the father, mother, or child. One of those three. I'm not really sure which one I would choose right now. And then for the shield, I would probably go with the grass crest shield. But that really wasn't important enough for me to actually dock it anything or to even list it as a con. So this was a really good build. Major props to the creator of the build, Swashy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video or it helped in any way, please leave a like, comment, or favorite, or even subscribe. It really helps. Also, if you keep watching, I'm just going to be playing a couple unedited clips of some random invasions in Sen's Fortress. If you have any suggestions for more builds that I should make a video of, just leave a comment below and I will definitely consider it. Thanks.